Welcome to the October 2022 Michigan Gardener. We're going to start by getting a grade on our potatoes. We planted these way back when. I started with 3 seed potatoes in this big bucket of dirt. Basically, you put a little dirt in the bottom, hi Wheezy, and you gradually, don't eat that, you gradually add dirt as the stems grow, just leaving the top exposed until the whole thing is full. And then that way, along the entire stem, it makes potatoes, at least in theory. So, let's see. We'll dump this out. That's a lot of dirt. All right, so you can see this is the stem, and you can see that potatoes have grown along it. This is a German variety of potatoes. Well, there's 3. There's some baby ones here and there. Hopefully we'll get some more. Oh, I got one, a baby. I can't believe it. Well, in other news, if you look behind me, we had a nice gentleman with a bush hog come in and chop out all that crap. So, next year, we'll have a little bit over twice the amount of garden that we had this year, which is good because I have to move all those tomatoes and everything. And as it turns out, I may have declared the loofah gourds a fail prematurely. I did finally get a few on here. We'll see if they ripen. I want this sucker to be like big, like huge. We'll see how much bigger it gets and if it ripens at all.
Well, I took out a couple of ornamental sunflowers that were just not looking good at all. And I'm gonna replace them with something that does look good. So I just pulled the sunflowers out of these pots. I think I'm gonna move this ornamental pepper over here and make a little room for this mum, which is pretty big. Yeah, and then I have a couple more pansies in the wheelbarrow. This pot here is not the best because we're trying to save some dahlias that we can't dig up until they're done with their leaves. So it's not the most attractive pot. Well, anyway, I'll fill in with a little potting soil, and we have a dahlia and some pansies, and we'll have a mum. No. And that's all. All right, we're out here in the backyard, and I am getting ready to plant 2 last plants for the season. We've chosen some climbing hydrangeas. This is a nice plant that will grow up a tree, it'll grow up a brick wall, it will grow up pretty much anything with a little bit of support. We're not really going to need to tie it in because these have natural sort of suckers that they produce that are going to kind of climb on the bark. They don't take a lot of light. They are really nice plants. They take about 3 years to get started. After 3 years of slow growth, they're established, and then they will grow vigorously. Okay, I'm gonna add a little of our mic treatment, both just to the hole that I dug and also to the roots. Just gonna tease these a little bit. Gonna kind of point it toward the tree. Okay, and now I'm just gonna water it in.
So we're out in the vegetable garden. I think it's pretty much the end. We're gonna do a mostly final harvest of the peppers. I am not sure how much of this is going to mature. In fact, I'm pretty sure not much of it is. So we're going to pick the red and orange of these. These are Tabasco peppers. And I'm going to naturally ferment these to make my own Tabasco sauce. And then I still have quite a few of the ají chilies left. The ají amarillo. They pronounce the double L with a J in the Amazon jungle region. We also have some more of the Scotch bonnets that are ready, and pretty much all of the New Mexico chilies that are going to turn have turned. So we're going to harvest all of that today, and I need to rip out these tomato plants, and then we're going to burn the leftover tomato plants and our Christmas tree from last year and as much other crap as we can gather up right over here in this new veg plot. Try to richen the soil a little bit with some wood ash. So we will get started. Okay, you pick away. Oh, they're coming off, huh? You just pull them, it looks like, if they're red. That's clever. Yeah. It's almost like it was designed that way. Maybe we'll pick all the red ones and orange ones and then see if the rest of them will ripen. So we've taken some brush and stuff and some drier stuff, and I piled it on top of those tomato plants and other stuff we pulled out. We've got a hose like right behind the camera there, so pretty safe. There's really nothing around here that's going to catch fire. It's not windy out. And never use an accelerant to light these. Just get, something that burns easy. Certainly never use gasoline to do this, because you'll blow yourself up. And that'll be plenty. This will burn real nice, and we'll just gradually add wood as this burns down. And we'll get quite a bit of burning done today. There's way more than I can do in one day though, because of all those trees we pulled out. So there we are. Looks like it's gonna go here pretty nicely, so we'll do the rest of this off camera.
All right, today we're going to dig up some annual bulbs that we need to store in a cool, dry, dark place over the winter. These are Gladiolas. The leaves are dying back. We're finishing up fall burning. The garden is done, so it's a good day to dig these up. So we have a nice bulb here, and I'm gonna put this whole thing in the basket and then I'll trim off the stem. Pretty soon we'll be doing cannas. Once you get the first hard frost, you want to pull your cannas out, and dahlias as well.
We've completed the removal of the small trees from our center woods here, and I suppose you can now see by the shapes of the trunks why it is we cleaned out all the distractions. And this another part of this project for this center bed here is earlier this year I took and stripped a 3 feet wide piece of sod around the edge of this, and now we're going to plant a bunch of bulbs. It starts over there and goes all the way over to there. I have tons of different varieties of tulips and other bulb things that we're going to put in, and towards the sides, like back there, I'm going to put in ones that are not so flashy and not so rare. And then where we're standing here, because you can see it most from the house, is where I'm going to put the really rare and colorful and unusual tulips. Also around my first circle garden, around the edge in front of the box hedge, I'll be putting in some of the rarer looking tulips there too, just because it'll really flash and show. So you'll probably hear some chainsawing and heavy machinery in the background, and that's because I'm having some trees that were shading the vegetable patch taken down. And I'll show what that's going to look like here in another scene when that's all done. And I just bought a few of these bags of, it's called Mixed Tulip Super Bag, and this is from MichiganBulb.com. And they have a bunch of them in here, like 50 bulbs. And we have 2 whole boxes full of different tulips over there. But like I said, around the outside here that you can't really see from the house, we're going to start with just kind of some generic ones that were cheaper. And every time you do these, you kind of want to check on the bag. It'll tell you the spacing. So for these, it's 5 to 7 inches, and the depth is 6 to 8. So I'm going to hand the bag to our assistant here if we want to step out of the way there. And I'm just going to start drilling holes. This is just a bulb driller bit that you can get at any hardware store. And I'm just going to start drilling 8-inch deep holes, about 5 to 7 inches apart. And we'll have her come in and start putting in bulbs, and I'll just keep doing this in kind of a random pattern. I don't want it to be too, too crazy here. Oh, that'll get you. So it'll, every once in a while, because of where we are, it'll grab a root. So you got to be careful of that. But we'll go on and do this around this whole circle around here. And then I'm going to save a few for other spots. We also have some alliums we're going to plant, and she's going to have to figure out where she wants those. So one thing when you're planting a tulip, hand me a bulb real quick so I can show. There's an upside and a downside, and the upside is the pointy end. So you don't want to put it in upside down, you want to put it in right side up. Just plop it in the hole there and then cover it up, and that's it. And that's how you plant tulip bulbs. You want to plant them in a month like October, November, depending on where you live. I wanted to get cracking at this because we've got so many to plant. And I still have some stuff I need to do in November, unbulb related.
Out here in the garden, we've cut down 2 more trees, and we have enlarged the space to be about 3 to 4 times as large as it was this year. We're excited. That's it for October. We'll be back in November, probably with a much shorter episode.